Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, bringing you the GameX review for Man O' War Corsair today. The best way to describe Man O' War would be a maritime mountain blade. This is a sandbox naval RPG where you commandeer a vessel, take to the high seas, and engage in glorious economics. And you fight some guys too. The guys at Evil Twin Artworks, the dev for this game, really deserve a lot of credit for this early access title because it's in a really good state despite the early access status. The presentation and feel of this game is really fantastic though. It has an epic feel going to it, and I really don't mean to just say epic is sort of like a branded word. It's like, it's epic, it's awesome, totally radical, man. It genuinely feels epic. The sound design is really great, and the slowness to the combat and the strategy that goes into it makes it so when you land your hits, it is really satisfying. The feeling of landing a broadside on another rival ship is great, particularly so when it's so easy to die in the combat in this game. It actually is quite easy to ruin everything and completely shoot yourself in the foot. And this is in more ways than just the combat, because there's a lot of depth going on here and a lot of factors you have to consider, and you're really going to be called into question if you're going to be a great maritime captain. Unfortunately, as I found out from my experiences, I am not a great captain. I thought calling myself Captain Kirk and naming my ship the Enterprise would give me a bit of an edge over the competition, but it turns out these guys are not too interested in the finer points of science fiction. I don't remember at the bottom of the ocean being tagged on to live long and prosper. For the most part, your captaining abilities will be called into question through the choices on the fly that the game presents you with. More often than not, when you're doing a quest, you'll find that there's some sort of additional detail, some sort of uncertainty that is thrown in just towards the end before you thought you'd be able to wrap up everything nicely, that forces you to make a quick decision as a captain, and these are really great, and I thoroughly enjoyed them because it's not the sort of thing you can plan with. It's an unexpected circumstance, and now you've got to react accordingly, and if you don't make the right choice, then they could actually have quite heavy consequences. And the game does a good job at presenting these moments to you. Your ship's mate is really your best mate on this ship. What he'll do is he will break down every scenario where there's going to be a choice and some sort of consequence, and he will explain the two options that you have available to you as a captain. It's a really nice feature that I greatly appreciate having, because it means that you're never going to have an action with a heavy consequence and commit it unknowingly. You're always going to be aware that you're doing something of significance in this moment. The game acknowledges that you're being presented with a lot of freedom, yet it directs you ever so slightly in that freedom and lets you know what you're kind of doing and what your role in this world is as you go along, which is greatly appreciated among sandbox RPGs. It's always nice to have that just little nugget of guidance and not just be completely lost in the wilderness. And one of the more grounded forms of guidance you have in the game is the economy. You buy and sell cargo as you travel between ports, and the prices fluctuate depending on the place you're going to. And I'll be honest, this might sound a little tedious to some people. I'm here just to destroy other ships. I don't want to do my taxes again, except in the Warhammer Universe. But truth be told, it's surprisingly engaging. The reason being is that it's very well optimized. You have little tooltip reminders as things such as the price that you paid for your wares when you actually go to sell them. Because of this, it's not really a tedious affair to work out if you're making a quick profit or if you're just making a loss in this port. You're going to be actively reminded of this information, which is really great because it's such a small detail that I feel if it wasn't there, it would be very tedious to engage with the system. It's surprisingly fun though, and it's one of the additional duties that you'll have as a captain, and something that you really want to get a handle on early in the game. As you go to ports, you're also going to be buying repairs for your ship, new crew members, and upgrades for your ship in general. And the best way to earn money in the most reliable format, without risking your life on the high seas, tends to be trading back and forth between a couple of ports. So you want to get a handle on it early. But suppose you do want to risk your life. Let's return to that big old tooty grin we saw earlier, because this game has sea monsters that you can encounter. There are cordoned areas on the map that are basically sectioned off, and massive indicators that if you go here, something terrible is going to happen to you. These are by far the most epic experience of the game, and perhaps the bit that I enjoyed the most out of my playtime. Simply put, it's kind of terrifying to have a gigantic Megalodon Shark assault your ship. And there's other atrocities as you travel, but it's really great. And of course, if you kill these monsters, you're going to get more wares that you can trade in ports. High value things such as Megalodon teeth, which is a really nice incentive to tackle on these really unique encounters. There's a couple of faults with the game, such as ship pattern issues when they're moving, and things like the clunky hand-to-hand combat when you board ships. It's not really that fun to actually fight with a sword or even shoot other guys on the opposing ship. I also wish there was some more quests to do. Granted, the ones that are there are really, really great, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. There simply isn't enough. You have a couple of standard quest types that you'll always get, such like deliveries and kill X enemy here. But there needs to be more of the unique encounters still. There also needs to be a bit more engagement between the factions as well. It's something that hasn't really been fleshed out yet in the current build of the game. But I can actually overlook it because this game is still in a very early state of early access, and the reason I'm more willing to overlook it with this title is that the dev team is actually doing a fantastic job in keeping the community informed. A lot of the issues that I've had are things that they are looking into. They're really listening to feedback, which is really great to see. And all in all, it's left me really looking forward to the finished release of this title. I have a lot of confidence in the devs for this one because they clearly seem to know what they're doing, and the game, even in its current state when it has miles to go, is a lot of fun to play. I think it's the epic aesthetic that really carries this game, and I absolutely love the sound design of it as well. I had an awful lot of fun with it, and if you want to try it for yourself, you can find it on Steam. It's early access, it's $28 of your regional equivalent. Thanks for watching this review, everyone. I've been Daniel, and if you're looking for even more game recommendations, then do please check out GameX.io. Once the site launches, you're going to be able to see a host of gaming recommendations based on your past gaming history, and find friends who are also playing those games. And it's multi-platform too, so you'll get game recommendations for everything you own, which is pretty damn cool. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and just to give you a little sampler of the truly epic feel, please just watch this clip.
The steersman is a fool! Tries to ram us! Let's fly! Divide the wind, boys!
Thanks, friendly narwhal.